All those things happen to you.
So all at once, it's very difficult.
Someone once said, I don't know who it was, that people, when they're called upon to play drunk scenes, that people who do not drink sometimes are better at it than people who indulge. Is that true or not?
Well, I don't know. I know that Robert Shaw had drunk scenes to do. I think it was in The Deep. And he decided, he had several. I never saw the movie, so I don't know exactly. And he decided to make a test and do some of them actually a little bit, loaded, and some not, to see which were the more realistic. And evidently the ones where he was not were much better.
Then it's true.
And, I think it's also true. It's like, if you ever had to hit somebody on film?
No, I haven't.
Well, I guess if you really hit somebody, I don't have a great deal of practice at this either, but I was told that, to really throw a punch and make it look real, it has to be unreal. You have to lean down on your knee.
Yeah, but in real life, you'd never telegraph a punch.
In the glamorous yet unforgiving world of Hollywood, few stories remain as haunting and mysterious as that of Natalie Wood. A dazzling actress, beloved by fans and admired for her timeless beauty, Natalie to have it all: fame, fortune, and a picture-perfect life. Yet, behind the glitz and the cameras, she was plagued by deep fears, turbulent relationships, and darkness that ultimately led to her untimely and tragic end. Her death, at just 43 years old, remains one of the most enduring unsolved mysteries in Hollywood history. Was it an accident, a cry for help, or something far more sinister? Today, we dive deep into the scandal, the mystery, and the heartbreaking tragedy of Natalie Wood. Natalie Wood was born Natalia Nikolaevna Zakharenko on July 20, 1938, in San Francisco, California, to Russian immigrant parents. Her childhood was far from ordinary. Her parents struggled financially, but they saw something extraordinary in their little girl. From a very young age, Natalie's mother pushed her into acting, convinced her daughter was destined for greatness. At just 5 years old, Natalie appeared in her first film, Happy Land, in 1943. Hollywood immediately noticed the little girl with soulful brown eyes and an innocence that radiated through the screen. By age 8, she had landed a role in the Christmas classic Miracle on 34th Street, 1947, a film that would become a holiday staple and turn Natalie into one of Hollywood's most beloved child stars. But with fame came pressure. Natalie's mother was known to be controlling and even superstitious, once warning Natalie that she had a dark destiny. It was a haunting remark that would linger over Natalie's life. As Natalie transitioned from child star to teenager, she managed to avoid the fate of many child actors who faded into obscurity. Instead, she reinvented herself. By the 1950s, she was starring in more serious roles that showcased her depth and range. In 1955, Natalie starred alongside James Dean in the classic Rebel Without a Cause. The role not only catapulted her into stardom, but also earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress at just 16 years old. Hollywood had found its new it girl. Natalie quickly became one of the most in-demand actresses of her generation, starring in Splendor in the Grass, 1961, West Side Story, 1961, and Gypsy, 1962. Her ability to balance vulnerability with strength made her unforgettable on screen. But behind the scenes, Natalie struggled. She feared water, an ironic and chilling phobia given the way her life would end. This fear stemmed from a traumatic childhood incident when, during a film shoot, she was forced into the water against her will. She never overcame that terror. Natalie's love life was as dramatic as her films. In 1957, she married actor Robert Wagner, a man she had admired since her teenage years. Their marriage was considered the epitome of Hollywood romance. Fans adored them, but the ride was more complicated. Wagner and Wood divorced in 1962 amid rumors of infidelity and tension. Yet, in a twist straight out of a Hollywood script, the couple reunited years later. In 1972, they remarried, hoping for a fresh start. Their relationship, however, was far from perfect. Friends described it as passionate but volatile, filled with love, jealousy, and arguments that could turn ugly. Natalie also struggled with feelings of insecurity and fears of abandonment. Despite her fame, she longed for stability, something that always seemed just out of reach. By the late 1960s and 1970s, Natalie remained a respected actress, though she appeared less frequently on screen as she focused on family life. Still, when she did act, her performances captivated audiences. But the pressures of Hollywood, coupled with her personal struggles, weighed heavily on her. She faced anxiety, insomnia, and battled with the haunting premonition that her life would be cut short. Despite this, Natalie tried to live normally, raising her daughters, enjoying family life, and attempting to maintain her career. Yet her fear of water never left her, and she often confessed to friends that she dreaded drowning. The night of November 28, 1981, changed everything. Natalie, her husband Robert Wagner, fellow actor Christopher Walken, and the yacht's captain Dennis Davern were aboard Wagner's yacht, the Splendor, off the coast of Catalina Island. What should have been a relaxing weekend soon turned into a night of tension and tragedy. Reports claim Natalie and Wagner had a heated argument, allegedly fueled by jealousy and alcohol. Walken later admitted that he and Wagner also argued about Natalie's career, which added to the tension. At some point, Natalie disappeared. Hours later, her body was found floating in the water, dressed in a nightgown, socks, and a jacket. The dinghy from the yacht was discovered nearby. Her death shocked the world. She was only 43 years old. The official cause of death was ruled accidental drowning, but many questions remained. How did Natalie end up in the water if she was terrified of it? Why didn't anyone notice her disappearance sooner? Why were there bruises on her body? Over the years, conflicting statements from the yacht's passengers deepened the mystery. Captain Dennis Davern later alleged that Wagner had been involved in Natalie's death, suggesting a violent argument may have played a role. Wagner, however, has always denied any wrongdoing. The case was reopened in 2011, nearly 30 years after her death, as new evidence and witness testimonies emerged. In 2018, Wagner was officially named a person of interest, though no charges were ever filed. To this day, Natalie Wood's death remains unresolved, fueling speculation and conspiracy theories. Despite the tragedy, Natalie Wood's legacy endures. She remains one of Hollywood's most iconic actresses, remembered for her elegance, talent, and unforgettable performances. Films like West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause continue to inspire new generations. Her daughters, Natasha Gregson Wagner and Courtney Wagner, have worked tirelessly to preserve their mother's memory, often speaking publicly about her life and advocating for a clearer understanding of her death. But Natalie's story also serves as a cautionary tale of Hollywood's dark side, a world where beauty and fame can mask hidden pain, and where tragic endings often come far too soon. Even now, decades later, the mystery surrounding Natalie Wood refuses to fade. Was her death truly an accident, or was there more to the story? Why were so many details inconsistent, and why have answers remained elusive? Natalie's fear of water, her tumultuous relationship with Wagner, and the strange circumstances of that night leave haunting questions that may never be answered. Perhaps that is why her story continues to fascinate and disturb. It is both a tale of beauty and brilliance, and a chilling reminder of fragility and fate. Natalie Wood lived her life in the spotlight, enchanting millions with her performances and captivating beauty. Yet behind the glamour was a woman haunted by fear, longing for love, and ultimately consumed by mystery. Her death remains one of Hollywood's greatest unsolved tragedies, a story of love, scandal, and unanswered questions that still haunt us to this day. She was only 43, but in those short years, Natalie Wood left behind a legacy that will never fade. And perhaps, one day, the truth of her tragic end will finally come to light.